Amongst the most important sources for this evening were my grandparents' autobiographies. Now, the occasion of the writing of these works was when Boris and Bessie split up. To refinance their now independent careers, they accepted offers from two different newspapers to write their life stories. And there was a period of time where in the morning paper, Boris would give his version of a certain moment, and in the afternoon paper, Bessie would counter with her own version. And for months and months, this went on, this serialization of the story, and when it was completed, both versions were published. So I had these two different accounts of these lives from two different perspectives as a kind of central source to go on. When I started looking into the music, there were many contrasts as well, because there was the published sheet music version of the music, which was one thing. There was the arrangement of the music that the orchestras had played, which had very often very different material. And then, luckily, I also had the memory of hearing my grandmother and her friends sing these numbers at parties. So I had an idea of how they really performed them. So I started with the numbers that I had heard performed the most and used by direct experience of their performance to inform my choices as to how we should reconstruct the number, using as much as we could from the primary sources. Well, there's a tremendous amount of music to choose from because the shows, even shows that were not called musicals, had a lot of music and songs in them. Some of that music was so fragile that as I touched it, it was crumbling into dust under my fingers. There were also a lot of songs that were a certain type of song, a certain kind of character had that sort of song. And in many shows, there were similar kinds of numbers, a wedding song, a drinking song, a march. And so I was looking at all the material to try and find what would give the show the most variety and also what had what I think is a particular flavor of the music that my grandparents had in their shows, which was a mixture of the sort of music that would show off Boris's great cantorial type voice, and then the emerging genres of American style, which more suited my grandmother, and then this interesting mixture of those two genres.